So now we're gonna move into the hallway row, this first row that goes down against this wall. So we've got a couple things we need to concentrate on. First thing is I know that this is where my starter board is. I already cut it, this is my starter board. I stuck it right here so I can use it for a guide. I'm gonna end up moving it over to here, but that is where my first piece is. Now I just took another piece of laminate that was a scrap and I stuck it there. Now I'm gonna take this piece right here and I'm gonna line it up with this piece, making sure I got my gap down there. Now I lined it up right where it's supposed to go. And so now this is in place. And now I'm gonna keep building my row all the way down. Now these ones aren't gonna be in there perfect or straight right now. We're just gonna get them set in for the now, and then we're gonna talk about how do we keep them straight. How do we line this hallway up? So for now, I'm just gonna make a long row all the way down the hall. And you wanna make sure you click them in evenly. And then when I get to the end here, now I'm gonna reverse it just like I normally do. Slide it under the wall and come and make my mark right here where I know I'm gonna make my cut. And now I'll go cut this off. And the reason why I know that's gonna end there is because this row actually is gonna go and end right there on that wall. So now I'm gonna take this board and I'm gonna slide it right in here, just like I did with the rest of this laminate. Put it in place. Make all the edges of these boards in this length here even, just like I told you. So now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take my tape measure here and I'm gonna measure right here. I come up with 3 5/8. And so now I'm just gonna go down to the other end and I'm gonna try to make a measure of 3 5/8 just to kind of get it close. But really what we're looking to do is run the chalk line again. And this is how you're really gonna know how straight you are. Just put it right along that tongue on both ends. Once you see that you're pretty straight with the chalk line, because the chalk line never lies, you don't have any gaps on any of the boards, you know that you're pretty close. So I got my cheater board and now I'm just gonna go right along and I'm gonna start making my marks. Now I jog in here and I actually gotta bring this laminate in because this is a cold air return, so I need to make this so it jogs in pretty much, not all the way, but in a little bit. So I'll just kind of go on both sides and make my mark. And then I just keep going along, just like I've been showing you with this. And I'm just riding my board right along the wall, and it's following the curve. That's one of the reasons why I made this board a little shorter, so I can kind of follow the jogs of the wall. And now I just go right underneath the jamb where I cut it. And I'll stop just like I showed you right there, and I'll just draw it straight. Now this isn't gonna make it all the way. We're gonna have to put another board in there, but we'll get to that one later. We'll just keep coming along and marking this wall. You can see how that jogs in there. Same thing down here. Now this one, I'll just run it under the jamb a little bit and I'll kind of eyeball it. because I can't get it in there good. And then I'll just take my board, put it on there straight, so it's straight with the edge there, and draw my line straight up, and you see it right there. And so now I'll go cut all of these out, and that's how you scribe a wall. It's pretty simple, and you can see I didn't use this tape measure. So if it's crooked at all, this board is the trick to use. So you can see that we got this all cut now, we notched it in, and I've tried to start to put it together, and all I do here is I take it just like I showed you earlier, and I slide my two joints together here and get them in there. And now I'm going to straighten my floor out again. I'm going to extend my chalk line and make sure it's straight. It all should go in there pretty straight, and you should be able to tell by your cuts, if you did your cuts pretty straight, where your 1/4 inch gap is. Your gap should all kind of fall together, so. Well, this one hasn't been put together yet. Kind of went backwards on this roll this time, but can still do it that way. And so now we'll stretch our chalk line. And I see that I got a little bit of a bow right in the middle here. So I just do a little bit of adjusting. Make sure that I'm still good all down my wall, though. I don't want the laminate to touch anywhere. Now that I know I'm looking pretty good, I'm going to put another row or two in. Now that I know I'm good, firm it up a little bit, and then I'm going to go with the chalk line one more time. And after I firm this row up, and then we're going to put a few screws in, just like I showed you on the starter row, so that it holds it nice and tight so we can finish our hallway. Okay. So we have the chalk line extended out. I'm seeing that I don't have any bows in it. We did, and we did a little bit of tweaking. Now I know I can go through and screw this just like I showed you before. And I'm just going to put some more screws in. I'm going to secure this floor so it's nice and solid, and then we'll finish out the hall. And we'll show you how we're going to cut more on this side. It gets a little more interesting on the other side.